Okay, so this is just a quick helper on how to submit stuff to Google Classroom. So we see in schools lots of different ways that people choose, and some of them are very smart and some of them are a little bit like a caveman would do. So it's important that you understand there's a nice slick way to do things. First piece of advice, if you've got the app, then use it. People will have taken time to put this app together, and so if you've got the Google Classroom app, you should really be using it. So get the app, but also get yourself something like Office Lens, because it will help you when you're submitting photographs. So let's say, for example, I've been asked to submit a photograph of something that I've done. So say there's been some paper activity where I was answering questions or something like that, or drawing a diagram or making a poster, and I was asked to submit a photograph of that. I'll just show you how Office Lens can make that happen. So here we are, I'm on an iPad Pro here, but your phone should be just as good for this. I select Office Lens. Imagine these are the things I have to photograph. Am I going to put them in this half lit area? No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to move them to somewhere that's evenly lit. Even though it's darker, the camera will compensate when it gets over there. Now, I'm now struggling to put them beside each other because I'm holding a massive iPad in front of my face and I cannot see what I'm doing. So apologies for that. I'm desperately trying to put them side by side. Okay, still not right, still not right, still not right. I'm holding the wrong one. Okay, that sort of will do. And what you'll notice is that Office Lens tries to see where the rectangle is. Okay, so when you settle down, hold your camera nice and steady, take your picture. You can see it produces this little frame, and you can adjust that before you say you're finished. And when you're finished, you can just say OK, and it then produces this perfectly rectangular version of your image. Now, for Google Classroom, you're going to want to open that. After you've saved it to your photos, you're going to want to open that again. So we'll close Office Lens, we'll open our photos, we'll look at the Office Lens folder there where our picture will be, we'll open it up, and what we want to do here is take a screenshot to reduce the size of this image. So I've rotated my phone, taken a screenshot, then I forgot and I rotated, so I need to do it again. Take a screenshot, pull that up, and use the crop on that, and then that's made it very small, okay, and that goes save to your photos. And then I think I rotate again here, do I? Yeah, okay, so that's us back. So what was all that nonsense with the screenshot? Why can't I just shove my photograph into Google Classroom? Well, it's to do with the size of the images, the pixel size of the images. So there's been an arms race in mobile phones for a long time, with people wanting better and better and better cameras. And we've got to the stage now where people don't take cameras to events anymore. They know they can trust their phone. But the downside of that is that the phone is producing a pretty big image. So let me try and explain. Imagine this is your original image, and it's stored in your phone at 4,000 odd pixels by 3,000 odd pixels. That would be the typical camera resolution for a smartphone. When you show it on screen, however, it can only use the screen pixels to visualize it. So if you take a screenshot of that, you're producing a much smaller version of the image. And that's what this is all about, because it improves the speed at which it transfers. Now, what are the benefits? Several, actually. If you're on a data contract and you're having to upload and download larger and larger files, that will eat your data up quicker. So it'll save your data contract. Equally, it will allow you to spend less time waiting for files to upload or download or save. If you have to edit this in the Google editor that I'll show you later, Often it will take a longer to save back the bigger the file image is. Okay, so when we take a screenshot, we make another version of it. And that version contains a lot less pixels. Now obviously if you do this too much, you'll end up with something that's unreadable, but this is still perfectly readable when we zoom it. And that's the trick. You give your teacher something that's still usable, but not hogging all the bandwidth. And it really will mess with their time. I have found, a piece of work that took me under a minute to mark might have taken 3 minutes to save. And that would multiply your marking time by 4. Or if you have a set amount of marking time, you'll only get a quarter of it done. So if you're expecting work to come back quickly, then you need to make sure you've done this right. Now you might notice that I reoriented the iPad when I was taking the screenshot, and that's to sort of compress it even further. When I turned it like this, instead of using all the screen pixels, I actually am using a smaller set of the screen pixels when I take this screenshot. So that reduces it even further. And again, as long as it doesn't end up unreadable, you can apply this trick in various kinds of ways to make the image smaller. So the trick is to remember which one in your photos is the screenshot, the small version of the picture, and that's the one you upload. And usually if you've only just taken the screenshot, it's the last image in your images folder. So consider your teacher and their time, because if you're doing things in a way that helps them, then they're going to be more able to do their work for you. And remember, that is who the teacher works for you. Their job is to support your work. And if you tire them out more, then they're going to be less able to support you with your work. So think about them. And it's not just, there's some people saying, well, I don't care about my teacher, I can't stand them, whatever. It's you as well. By doing this, you save your own time. If you're sitting with your phone uploading a file and it's taking forever, that's a pain. And that's wasting your time. Think about it from their point of view though. When they're annotating it and it takes 10 times as long to save back, and they could have had 10 more people's work marked while they're waiting for your one file to save. So think about that as well. I'm going to see if I can show you the method for uploading a picture from the app now. So I'm just going to show you adding a photograph to an assignment. So you go into your Google Classroom, you've got this assignment. Okay, that's better. So we swipe up, and that gives us the option to add something in, and we add attachment and choose photo. And we pick the last one, that's the one that we cropped and screenshotted. That's the one that's going to be the right size. And you can see it uploads fairly quickly. That's a good sign that it's a reasonable size. Okay, just check that it's there. Sometimes the app doesn't update straight away. We can also go into opening it in Google Drive to see its properties. That's what I'm doing here, just using that wee thing in the corner. And you can look, once it's opened, at what the file size is using those 3 wee dots and hit details. You can see it's a relatively small file now compared to what we would have had, maybe 19 megabytes coming in from a camera phone. So that makes a massive difference. And that's us. You can hand it in now. So I have another wee bit showing you just how you would edit a file that's been stored on Google Classroom for you. So in this one, you've been given a worksheet to fill in. You can see there's an assignment called Do This Worksheet. When you get in there, there's some instructions and there's a file for you. And the trick then is to open that PDF file up with the worksheet in it. So that opens up. Now there's an edit option here, this little pen. You pick that, you get an editable version and an editor, set of editor tools down here. You can see you can make it bigger. You can pick a pen here if you want. Various colors of pens available, various types of pens available, and a text tool. So everything you would need to fill this in. So you can bring up text and type there if you want to. Sorry for my slow typing. You can move that around. Or you can pick a pen and write something. Obviously on a phone this is going to be hard, but you might be able to zoom it way up and write with your finger or a stylus. Probably not ideal. You might prefer to use the text tool if you're on a small device. But if you've got a device that has a proper pen, then that might be an option. And you can see we've got highlighters and big chunky pens, and if that's a mistake, there's an eraser tool there. You can see me selecting the eraser tool, swapping to another type of thing, proper highlighter this time. So all the kinds of tools that you would need to edit a document, or to draw a picture or a diagram or anything, it's all available within the app. Various colors for underlining, etc, etc. So plenty of options. You can move to next page and continue with the document. This is a 3-page document, so if you had a diagram to draw, maybe I didn't like that circle, I can pick the erase tool and just click on it and it'll vanish. You can see how you would start filling in this. Now if you have a tablet with a pen, you can see how this is really good. When you're done, you just hit save. This is the bit that if the file is really big, takes ages. Okay, and that's you. Now at this stage, if you're finished, you will have an edited version of that in your area. So you can see there's an edited version of the file here. That's the one we've written on. You've got the option now if you want to hand that in. And so if it's finished, you can hit hand in and that's it, submitted. So there might be some of you there sitting thinking, well, I'm doing all my stuff on a PC. I don't have a pen-based device to do this on. Well, you can actually get round some of that. There are lots of plugins for the Chrome web browser because obviously it's a Google technology. And one of them is this little thing called Kami. And the idea of Kami is that it's a plugin for Google Chrome that will allow you to do the same things that we were just doing in your desktop PC. So you have to give it permissions into your account and stuff like that, a bit like any app that wants to use your files. You have to let it have permissions in your Google Drive account in order for it to edit and mess with your files, because that's what you're doing when you're using it. You're adjusting your files through the app. So obviously if it's somebody else's computer, you need to get their permission to put this on. But basically you can see there it provides a wee annotation screen that allows you to doodle and type and annotate stuff. So it's actually more powerful than what you can do in the Google Classroom app. So you might want to check that out even if you do have a pen-based computer, because you might find that this is actually nicer and handier for you. Okay, so you can do that if you need to. And last of all, the most important part of any online environment is the thing that people forget about, and it's that you don't rush stuff at the last minute. Don't leave everything until you have only a little bit of time left to do it. Plan your week out and make sure you're working on these things. If you've left something to the last minute and you discover some issue that can't be resolved, like you're missing something that you should have asked your teacher for 3 days ago, it's very difficult to sort anything out at that stage. So you need to just plan your week out and make sure you're doing the best that you can. So hopefully you have found something in there that was useful for helping you to submit your stuff to Google Classroom. And hopefully what will happen then is that when you submit work, it will be amazing. Okay, you'll be submitting stuff that looks fantastic. It'll be your best work. It'll look out of this world. Thanks for watching.